Hello and welcome to a look at Ikari Warriors 3 for the Commodore 64, an SNK arcade original that was converted and released by SNK themselves. Now, the plot behind this game is that a presidential candidate's child has been kidnapped by some terrorists, and of course, that is a rather unfortunate thing. So, someone needs to go out, in, whatever, and try and rescue the poor child. So, the department looks at you and potentially one of your friends and sends you out, dumping you in the middle of a river. But because of budgetary cuts, no one equipped you with any weapon of any kind, so you are reduced to using your natural weapons, meaning of course your fists and feet. Because you start off in a river, I can only say good luck trying to kick in water. It is not perhaps impossible, but it is incredibly challenging and pointless to attempt. So until you find firm ground on your feet, you are reduced to only using your fists. Once you're out of the water, you will be indicated by an arrow in which general direction you should be moving, and while you are doing such, you will be facing various different enemies. Their budget seems to be working perfectly fine, so most of them are equipped with weapon-like items that they would be more than happy to use against you, effectively meaning that you end up bringing fists to a gunfight. I suppose it is macho to face off against armed enemies being unarmed, and the Ikari warriors, of course, are the best of the best, or the best of the rest, whatever you define it as. As you progress through the different screens, you will from time to time bump into boxes and barrels and stick grenades that you can throw out, and after a short delay will blow up and hopefully hit something that you wanted to hit, because that is a bit of a gamble. At least the explosion doesn't seem to hurt neither you nor any friend that you would be tagging along or have tagging along. So you can dump them right on top of yourself and just stand and look silly, hoping that the enemies will be dumb enough to close in on you while you stand on something that's about to explode. Eventually, as you have moved a certain distance, you will find a unique looking individual who has a very big gun that he uses against you, and once defeated he will drop said gun, and almost immediately after, a boss kind of thing will spawn. We have just bypassed the first boss, which was a tank with a stock turret, so it is incredibly easy to get into a position where you can shoot the tank, but the tank can't shoot you. So it is more of a roadblock than a challenge. Unfortunately for you, as soon as the enemy of whatever description it may be has been disposed of, your weapon will instantly disappear. Yeah, interesting teleport magic being deployed there. And then off you pop, trotting along, facing off against more enemies, some of them using fists, some of them using knives, some of them using guns, and rinse and repeat until you have been defeated or you have rescued the hostage. Let's have some fun. Let's do the technical side of things, even though that is perhaps a bit of a strong word. The arcade original of this game has a zoomed-in view of the playable characters and enemies, and you can see all their macho masculinity in somewhat fine detail, and SNK attempted to reproduce that kind of look on the Commodore 64, but unfortunately they didn't put particularly much effort into reproducing that look. And both the playable characters and all enemies basically look like they've been put together using 8 pixels. It looks incredibly chunky and incredibly wonky and not particularly pretty. Sound effects are incredibly generic. They are so generic they are not even interesting. Nothing stands out, nothing excites, nothing does anything of any kind except for being a bit of background noise. The music, if you listen quite intently, or intensely, whatever, you can vaguely detect a hint of the theme from the original Ikari Warriors, which is a very enjoyable theme. But unfortunately, the musical quality of this particular title, it sounds like someone put some strings of wire down and made pling pling sounds with them. Let's just say that the musical quality of this game is not particularly impressive. The controls are fine by and large. The arcade original allows you to turn your torso so you can move your torso in one direction and your movement in another direction, and thankfully someone was clever enough not to attempt to reproduce such a control scheme on the Commodore 64. So yeah, the controls are fine. Nothing stands out, nothing's painful. The hit detection, it's there. I'm not entirely sure where it is, but it's there somewhere. It might show up from time to time, it might not. It's an interesting beast. You could wonder why SNK would convert one of their own arcade games and not put any effort into making a remotely quality infused playable game out of it. But perhaps they were inspired by so many others who were converting arcade originals that no one cared about because they obviously seemed to sell themselves. Despite all the rough and gruff, I can't hate this game only because it is so hilariously bad that I can't help finding it incredibly amusing, which probably says more about me than anything else. On that note, well, thanks for watching, take care, see you next time, bye bye for now.